Okay, ladies and gents, we've got some more boxing action on the way for you. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner from Function First. Give it up for Dom Barnard. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner from Elbows Boxing. Give it up for Nathan Edwards. Ladies and gentlemen, this bout was sponsored by Host Services. Introducing to you one more time, fighting out of the red corner from Function First. Give it up for Dom Barnard. And his opponent standing across the cage in the blue corner from Elbows Boxing. Put your hands together for Nathan Edwards. This boxing contest will be fought over 3 2-minute rounds. Your referee in charge of the action, Mr. Dan Movaheady.
Okay, straight back into the boxing action. If we have a little break to catch our breath after that heavyweight collision. We've got Dom Barnard from Function First in the red corner, wearing the red and black shorts with the red gloves. And his opponent is Nathan Edwards from Elbows Boxing with the white shorts, the black trim and the red gloves. Dom Barnard, interestingly enough, Dean, is actually one of the Contenders K1 champions. So tonight, we hope he's not going to be throwing any kicks. Boxing only, here we go, round one. Here at Contenders 25.
Barnard counters well and compress the action, which makes for an interesting fight. He always comes in shape. And he's got those unorthodox styles that's hard to prepare for. You know, in the gym where you're training for it with your sparring partners, it's hard to find someone that moves like him.
And we see straight away there's some unorthodox movement from him. He's moving around, looking to pot shot from the outside, then Edwards. Nice head movement from Barnard. Let's hope he doesn't accidentally throw a kick. Edwards looking to advance, pose himself.
Edwards just trying to place to gauge the distance here to see where the openings are. I mean, he's a possessor of great head movement as well. Nice slips, he works power shots off that torque. Great combinations. He uses the lead uppercut to set up the right hand as well.
Very much a feeling out process so far at the start of this first round. Both guys clearly skilled in the boxing realm. Edwards now coming forward, looking to land some heavy leather. Unusual movement there from Barnard. Stepped to the side, got caught by Edwards though.
Edwards using the smart play of keeping the hands nice and heavy in the exchanges. He understands that Barnard's somewhat unorthodox and throws looping punches with power on the end of it, so you'll notice that he keeps his hands nice and high.
It's just totally odd, isn't it, Dean, to what we've just watched, which was basically a heavyweight slugfest. These guys are really looking to employ the sweet science and find the weaknesses in each other's game. They're not just going in there throwing heavy leather. Nice work from Edwards, ducking and diving, bobbing and weaving, landing some shots.
And notice Barnard as well is switching stances from southpaw to orthodox, and you know that can confuse your opponent, and it also makes sure your opponent have to circle the opposite way. So you have to circle to the outside leg at all times, and Barnard, by switching that stance up, kind of puts a bit of a stagger in the step of Edwards.
Very, very close first round there, Dean. As I say, a lot more of a feeling out process for that one in the boxing realm. Could you score that, do you reckon? Could you separate them?
Yeah, difficult to score. I mean, there's almost certainly Edwards, the possessor of the more kind of technical, peekaboo sort of style with the slips and the high guard, and Barnard with the crazy footwork that he likes to employ and the switches of stance. But again, a very hard kind of to judge when we're commentating. You know, there are 3 judges around the cage, and you got to think that they come from 3 different disciplines, 3 different perspectives. You know, the old saying, never leave it to the judges. But I mean, I'd have to lean more towards Edwards for that first round.
Yeah, very interesting first round. Certainly very close here. Contenders 25. We're glad you've chosen to spend your Saturday night with us here at the Epic Studios in Norwich. Mark Heath, the fight doctor, Dean Midhat, alive around the world on Fight TV as we get ready to go into round 2 here. The cage door is locked, and we are locked and loaded for round 2. Down overhead, he gets them back underway, Dean. Round 2 is going.
Now we're going to see them open up more. They've used the first round as a feeling out process. You know, you saw Edwards trying to place those shots and not really commit and make any mistakes, but now he's going to see where those are, consolidate, and then start to put some power behind his punches. There we go, double jab right hand. Edwards is looking for the technical right hand here over the top. And you notice that Barnard kind of leans his head a little bit off to the left side, and in those instances, that's going to open him up for those hooks. Yeah,
Edwards is very much more the traditional style boxer, isn't he? Very nice, doubling up the jab and landing the right hand. Barnard unconventional, as you say. Edwards now starting to try and impose, put his foot on the gas and trying to impose himself on Barnard here. Nice body shot from Edwards.
Edwards very calm and collected here, high fight IQ. He understands that, you know, Barnard's got some crazy footwork and unorthodox strikes, and he's just being patient here. He's firing these combinations when it's safe. He's moving the head in these exchanges. I mean, look at that, very clean work, straight to the roll, straight to the body, and this is the difference here. He's putting the shots on the body movement and the head movement. You know, he's talking the punches up, and he's forcing Barnard really to stay on the back foot.
Yeah, Barnard's struggling to land anything, isn't he? He's landed a couple of southpaw lefts, but they haven't really had much behind them. He's almost kind of just touching Edwards. Again, we'll switch stances. There you go, he goes back to orthodox. Oh, big right hand there from Edwards as he switches back to orthodox. Barnard. Nice body work from Edwards as well. Interesting, this is a conundrum for Barnard to try and solve. As I say, Edwards seems to be the more stylish and kind of traditional of the boxers, and he's having success here in this second round.
It's a funny thing to see Barnard kind of almost stay in front of his opponent. He never usually does that. He's always usually cutting angles, switching stances, you know, just like that circular movement. That's what he needs to do. He needs to create angles.
Nice.
And catch Edwards, you know, at specific angles. There we go. He's starting to do it at the end of the round there.
He's done that beautiful there, just at the end of the round, the step off and then landed a nice back uppercut, right uppercut, a couple of times there. And I guess, as I say, with him being from a K1 background, a lot of times you're looking to create angles to land kicks, aren't you? Kind of almost using the hands to deceive the opponent and then landing the kick, and obviously you can't do that in a boxing match. So interesting stuff, Dean. As I say, I think Edwards was effective in that round with traditional slick boxing, but Barnard certainly started to have a bit of success right at the end of the round, as you say, with stepping off and landing the uppercuts. Okay, third and final round about to get underway. Referee Sam Amidi just locking the cage. That overhead he calls the fight to the centre. Third and final round here at Contenders 25. And who can stake their claim for the win here in this last round, Dean?
Edwards again being very patient in his approach. And usually when he has his opponent hurt, he will power forward with straight punch combinations when he knows that it's time to go in. But it's really impressive to see him pick his punches. You know, he's really pulling on the sweet sides of boxing here, going to the body, going to the head, staying nice and tight, working the head movement. You know, and against an opponent that's really dangerous in Barnard, he does some crazy things, that's some very powerful looping punches, but Edwards is doing a great job of stopping him in his step.
Barnard's just struggling to kind of get a foothold, really, isn't he? Edwards is boxing nice and tidily. He's rolling and landing shots, going to the body, going to the head, and Barnard's just struggling to make an impact on him. Good to know what Barnard does here. Needs to maybe invest in a jab and start landing some, doubling up that jab and looking for that right hand, Dean.
Yeah, he's just got to dive into the toolbox that he's been given. I mean, the crazy angles that he creates, coupled with those uppercuts that he does while moving, as long as with those left hooks. But I mean, he's almost bought into the kind of the technicality of Edwards, and he's trying to beat him at his own game. But you've got to look to your own attributes and exploit your opponent's weaknesses with regards to your strengths. So, you know, he's kind of just standing in front here. I mean, again, just throwing the left hook, then covering up. I'd like to see him work those crazy angles that we know him for.
Yeah, you've got to think that Barnard needs to maybe even get a count here to have a chance of winning this fight. Although the first round was very, very close indeed, so you never know. Certainly Edwards has been on the front foot for most of the fight from the second round onwards. Again, lands a nice body shot, moves away, good head movement. Took misses from Barnard.
Nice body shot from Barnard there, but again, it's just singular punches. He needs to turn up the volume, punches in bunches, and really start to be a bit more animated.
And there we go, it's the end of this fight. A complete contrast from the fight we've just seen, Dean. A very, very interesting technical boxing fight. Hard to score. Jeff, if you put me on the spot, I'd have to say Edwards has probably done enough to take it there. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, he just had the more technical boxing, the great head movement, the rolls. You know, he understood that he needed to go to the body. And more importantly, he understood how to shut down somebody who's quite elusive and unorthodox. He really just did a good job of cutting him off as opposed to following him, you know, working the combinations, drawing him into a more technical fight. You know, so Edwards did a really good job of making it his fight and forced Barnard to do what he wanted him to do and just teed off. And he didn't make any silly mistakes. He didn't chase after the big overhand rights. You know, he landed a nice straight right hand, but he didn't really put himself off balance, didn't put too much power into it. You know, he was looking to technically get the win here.
Yeah, it was a very nice, tidy performance there from Nathan Edwards. As we await the official decision, MC Tom Vince about to step into the cage, I think. I hope you enjoyed that at home. Do stick with us because we're heading towards the main card now. We've got two fantastic pro MMA fights and a K1 banger as well. As I say, we're just waiting now for the official decision here. Good boxing action here, Contenders 25. You'd always see that, a mixture of MMA, K1 and boxing action. There's something for everyone, and that's what hopefully we hope you'll enjoy this show. Okay, here we go. Tom Vince enters the cage. Decision about to be rendered.
Ladies and gents, let's hear it for both these guys here in the cage. After 3 hard-fought rounds, though, we have a unanimous decision. Your winner in the blue corner, give it up for Nathan Edwards. And let's hear it for Dom Barnard. And we have AD from Hose Services as our sponsor.